No, that is not true. You do not have to be able to repeat an event for it to be good or bad. Even if we could only run this one time, that's fine. Like, we would still do this. Do you think it's worth to learn poker? It seems fun to play, and I don't like online card games where you have to buy card packs and things. I think that the math behind poker can be used in a lot of life decisions. I think that, like, learning how to understand odds, I think that learning how to understand, like, different choices that you could make and the payoffs related to those, I think can carry over into a lot of different life-related things. So if anything, I would recommend learning poker just to learn some of the math behind it, because I think it can inform a lot of your real life decisions, I think. What'd you learn the math of poker? I assume not by reading. Actually, I did read. I only read one book on poker. I don't even know if I would recommend the book, but it got me into thinking more about poker. It's a book called Super System.
Was it the Doyle Brunson book?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think, keep in mind that everything I say about poker is holy shit, I am not an expert or a pro. I would say that playing poker like Brunson is not going to be profitable anymore. Maybe in low stakes cash games and casinos it can be, but like this style of being like ultra aggressive, ultra bully, et cetera, it's a new age. It's a new day. Like, poker is a lot different than when this guy was playing professionally. So I don't know if it's relevant anymore, but this is the book that I read that just kind of got me thinking more about, like, poker is like a game where you can think a lot about it. There's a lot of stuff to think about. And that book kind of got me on to doing the thoughts about it. In terms of learning, like, the actual math, most of the math related to poker is, like, really simple. But I think that there are just, like, a few key life lessons that you can learn when it comes to poker that carry over into everything. So, like, here's, like, an incredibly important one. A decision is not good or bad based on the outcome. We do not evaluate our decisions, whether they were good or bad decisions, based on the outcome. This is a folly that almost every single human being makes. If an event turned out good, people assume they made a good decision. If an event turned out bad, people assume they made a bad decision. It is one of the worst, like, fallacies that we commit in our minds as humans. When we make decisions, we have to make them with the information we have available. We have to calculate whether or not it's good or bad based on the outcomes and the potential probability of each outcome, and then the rewards associated with each outcome. And then we have to figure out, like, what decision to make. You can only evaluate a decision's good or badness based on the information available to you at the time, never, ever, ever about the outcome. Yeah. There's a lot of carryover between, like, poker and, like, stocks as well.
Yeah, I was just saying that in chat. It's like behavioral economics, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, people make the same things trading stocks, where they'll be like, if they make, like, one or two good trades, they think that, like...
It's all hindsight bias, right?
Yeah, that, oh, well, those were good trades. Like,
I'm a god.
You don't know if those were fucking good trades, dog. Like, you might have just gotten lucky, you know? To go further, humans are just really shit with probability in general, I think. Yeah, absolutely they are. Fuck, there were a couple of really good not fallacies, but there were a couple of, like, really good probability-related questions that you could ask people, and they'll give, like, wrong answers because they're intuitive. Oh, we read a lot about this when we were looking into decision theory or stuff related to making decisions in economics.
Wins.
Might have been
related
Suck it,
to you losers.
Behavioral economics, but, like, it had to do with, like, if you risk money, you're less willing to do a good bet than if you're, like, gaining money or something. I wish I could remember. I think it had to do with loss aversion. Fuck. You're talking about hospital A and hospital B. I think it has to do with, like, if you have, like, a 50% chance to lose $10,000, or like a fuck, I don't remember it. I can't remember it. It's not, I don't think it's the St. Petersburg ship. Fuck! It was part of a paper that we were reading. I don't think it's like I don't know if it's a broader paradox thing, but it had to do with, like, if you could choose between losing two different things, people will choose the thing that's mathematically worse because they're, like, have a loss aversion. Whereas, like, if it comes between winning, like, two different things, people will choose the correct thing when it comes to winning because they have, like, they're willing to, like, do more to, like, win something, even if the whatever is bad. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck. I'm not going to be able to remember it, though, but... it is loss aversion. People are willing to take risks on losses more than gains. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, fuck, I could just remember what this was. Loss aversion bias or something. Yeah, it was incredibly interesting to read. And in reading it, like, just in how I felt my gut, I was like, yeah, this actually totally feels like something I would do. I wouldn't because I would think about it more, but, like, yeah, it totally feels like it, yeah. Yeah. Understanding expected value is really important too, I think. Like how much equity, how much is something worth? In when it's a stake in the probability of something else. If I tell you that I have a coin and that coin has a 20% chance at being a coin for $100,000, right? What is the value of that coin? Understanding that, what you can sell that for and what you can trade that for, very, very important fundamental concept in terms of like equity. Like that coin is worth, that's a $20,000 coin, right? 20% chance to win $100,000. That's what that coin represents. It's a $20,000 coin. If you sell it for anything more, it's a good trade. If you sell it for anything less, it's a bad trade. Like stuff like that. The endowment effect. Are you sure thinking about it would work that way? Some things like anchoring work even if you're aware of them happening. Are you saying it has an 80% chance of being worth 0? What do you mean? Can you address my donation, please? I'd like your thoughts. Wait, what? Ballsy. Can I get your thoughts on my last donation? I play poker for a living. So if you want... Wait, what? Oh, legal prostitution doesn't increase sex trafficking. It reduces it. Demand might increase, but supply will increase too. Some women weren't willing... I've heard the opposite. Everything I've heard of is the exact opposite. I don't feel like looking at it right now. It's not just like a deductive logic thing. It's like a numbers. It's like an empirical data thing. I'm pretty sure in the places where the prostitution was legalized, like sex trafficking increased. Like, what class of psychology is this? I don't know, but there's a lot of math related to poker that like carries over into other areas, like carries over into stock trading, carries over into finance. Oh yeah, it works with insurance. Yeah. Would you take this bet? Ooh, okay. Let's watch this video since League is fucky right now.
I want you to consider this bet. Here's $10. This could be yours. If I flip this coin in the air, you guys call it in the air. If you're right, I give you the $10. If you're wrong, you give me $10.
I saw that coming.
That's not a good bet for me. I guess in principle I don't...
Wait, so
Nathan Dank.
So he flips a coin, and you're just betting $10. You gain $10 if you're right. You lose $10 if you lose, right?
I want you to consider this bet. Here's $10. This could be yours. If I flip this coin in the air, you guys call it in the air. If you're right, I give you the $10. If you're wrong, you give me $10.
I saw that coming.
So this is neutral, right? It's a 50. So like $10, right? So let's say that you're staking $10, okay? And you're betting on a 50-50 outcome, and you either call it heads or tails, right? Like if it's a 50-50 chance to win, and it's 1-to-1 odds on either side, it's a, right? A perfectly rational person would be indifferent to the bet. You either say yes or no, I guess.
That's not a good bet for me. I guess in principle I don't agree with the idea of betting.
Okay, but what if we just use this as like an allegory for life?
Yep,
You know, it's not really about money and betting on a coin. It's more about our approach to risk.
Okay, and my approach to risk is obviously a lot less than yours.
You wouldn't do this bet?
No.
No, I don't have $10.
My gut says don't bet.
Why is that?
Because at the moment I have $10 and later I might not.
So people are passing up the opportunity to win $10 of my money. But it kind of makes sense because they have to risk $10.
There's some dumb fucking chat right now that's typing a whole bunch of stuff out here about marginal utility and the fact that, like, well, the $10 that you gain might be worth less than the $10 you lose because a person that has
time value of money.
Yeah, technically we can go into more complicated economic theory about why having $10, like having $20 is less of a change. Like, hold on, let me see if I can say this right. If I have $10, going from 10 to 20 is not going to make me as happy as it would sad to move from 10 to 0.
Yeah, but that's exactly what loss aversion is. That's
Sometimes,
exactly
yeah,
what the
sure.
fallacy.
Yeah, assuming this is like your last $10, right? Yeah. But yeah, okay, sorry.
dollars of their money, and it's a 50-50 chance. So really, the bet has zero value. What if I sweeten the deal? What if I put up $12 to your 10? You only stand to lose 10. You stand to gain 12.
This is a bet that you should theoretically take every single time.
How's that sound?
I still wouldn't bet.
I feel like
This is why people are wholly irrational and are not capable of making good financial decisions. It's why credit cards should be banned. It's why people say dumb shit like paying off your mortgage early is a good financial decision. People are really bad at calculating odds and risk and probability. It's just not something we're intuitive. I shouldn't say people. It's not a fault of people. It's like just a built-in thing for humans. We don't evaluate probability very well.
I'm better off just leaving it as it is.
I'm gonna offer you $15. You only have to put up 10. I'm putting up 15.
No.
I'm offering you an extra $5. Why not?
I'm not giving my $10 away.
What about 20? That's as high as I'm going today. $20, that is the top. It's 2 to 1.
I just don't like taking that much risk.
You don't like risking $10.
Sure.
I'm
$10 a
valuing my
lot.
$10. I am.
But why don't you value my $20, which you got a 50% chance?
It's only unequivocally a good bet, like you contend, if you can repeat it. No, that is not true. You do not have to be able to repeat an event for it to be good or bad. Now, there are certain things, if we get more complicated in our analyses, where this could be true, but just on the mathematical end of it, even if we could only run this one time, that's fine. Like, we would still do this. If you were to offer $1, if a guy said, I'm going to flip a coin that's a 100-sided coin, and if it lands on exactly the one, you risk $10, and if you win, I give you $10,000, okay, for your 100-sided coin, but you have to risk $10 to win that 1,000, that's still good, right? You have a 1 out of 100 chance to win, but he's giving you 1,000 to 1 on your money. 1,000 to 1 on your money, right? I think I got that right. Yeah.
Chance of right here if you accept the bet.
I don't know. I can't tell you. It's not like I don't know what the logical reason is for why I want that.
I don't know. I can't really. I just feel it's not right.
Because none of this will feel right or intuitive. You have to use math to arrive at some of these answers. You're not going to be able to feel it out.
Now this doesn't make
By this premise, do you think all insurance is a waste? Kind of. If you have a certain amount of, this gets a little bit more complicated. Car insurance, I think, is a waste. I'll never buy car insurance ever in my entire life. I think I've probably already made more money in my life by not paying for comprehensive collision insurance, than I would have even if I totaled my car right now and I had comprehensive and it covered the whole cost of my accident. If I were to go back and average out like every dollar that I've saved. Now, there are like more complicated ways that we can analyze this. So for instance, sometimes you're willing to pay a premium. I thought you had to have car insurance. You have to have a liability. You don't have to have coverage for your own vehicle. Sometimes we are willing to pay a premium to limit downsides, however. So let's say, for instance, that there is a 1 out of 100 chance that I could die. How would I say this? Let's say that there's a 1 out of 100 chance. Actually, let's do this a little bit early. Let's say there's like a 1 out of hold on. I'm trying to think of like the math that I would use here. Let's say there's like a 1 out of 100 chance. Let's write this down. Let's say that there's a 1 out of 100 chance that I could incur a debt for $1 million over the next 10 years. Okay? Let's say that every year, 1 out of 100 chance that I could incur a $1 million debt over the next 10 years. Okay? Over 10 years. So every year, there's a chance that I could incur, that would be a 1 out of 1,000 chance every year that we could incur a $1 million debt. This would be worth, in insurance terms, it's 1,000 times 1,000, right? Technically, if we were to pay $1,000 a year of insurance to protect us against this, not $1,000 a year. No, yeah, $1,000 a year. Technically, I would pay $1,000 a year to be equal with this risk, right? If I have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of incurring a $1 million debt, and I could pay $1,000 a year to avoid that, that would be like equal, right? If it happens, there's a 1 out of 1,000 chance of it happening. That's worth about $1,000 a year, right? It would be worth it. However, let's assume that I'm making like $100,000 a year, okay? I might actually be willing to pay $1,500 a year. Now, even though this is a quote-unquote bad bet mathematically, $1,500 a month, or rather the additional $500 a month, might mean very little to me, but $1 million loss would be catastrophic to me. So in this case, I'm willing to pay a premium on this monthly insurance just because I'm looking to limit a potential downside. The additional gain that I have of that $500 a month extra that I'm wasting on this premium is actually worth it, because the downside here of this potential $1 million penalty that would incur, that would happen 1 out of 1,000 times a year, is actually so bad that I'll pay a little bit more to avoid that. This is how we justify like catastrophic like life insurance. Why you should probably pay insurance premiums for catastrophic events, because typically if you do land on one of these, your life could be over, like financially, or for at least the next 7 years if you have to declare bankruptcy. You don't know the odds of having a car accident? I'm pretty sure we could look those up. I mean, of course the odds are known. That's what insurance companies do.
Sense. I've offered people up to $20 and they're still refusing to take the bet.
Where does gap insurance lie on the spectrum of loss aversion idiocracy? Gap insurance is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Holy shit.
The bet is objectively
gap
in their
insurance is the biggest. Well, they get you easily because it's one lump sum you pay, right? It's like $500, $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
It's just a huge fucking
So
waste,
it's the easiest optically, it's the easiest way to sell someone on something and immediately extract no value from it.
Yeah.
Favor. I mean, a 50% chance of winning 20 plus a 50% chance of losing 10 still gives the bet an overall value of $5. Why is it that you won't go for this bet?
I don't know, because I don't want to lose $10 just because of that easily.
I know, but you could win $20. Think about the gain.
I don't know. I'm thinking more about what I lose than what I win, I think.
I think that's exactly the point, because we feel losses more than we feel gains. There's an asymmetry in the way people
Can you explain why gap insurance is bad? What? I think gap insurance makes it so that, is that if you get in an accident or if you sell the vehicle? It's an accident, right? And then they pay off the difference between your loan and the equity, or the loan and the total value of the car. So like if you take out a loan for a car for $10,000 and then maybe a few months later you get in an accident, and at that point the car is only worth like $8,500 or $9,000, they'll give you like $1,000. But like the chances of you totaling a car, and like it's just like it's not good. Like it's super. It's like you're buying like insurance on like depreciation, and it only lasts. Gap insurance I think only covers it for like a year or two anyway. It's so stupid. Gap insurance is just garbage.
Perceive gains and losses. Losses are felt much more intensely. In fact, psychologically, most people weight a loss around twice as heavily as a gain. But this varies from person to person. What if I go to $30?
I said even if you had 50, I would still feel the same way.
$50 to $10, that would be a reasonable...
That's when you would say yes.
Possibly yes.
You're going to have to give me like 100, and then I lose 10.
This is known as loss aversion. To avoid risking a loss, people will pass up even very favorable bets. But is there a way to overcome our oversensitivity to losses? Let me ask you this. What if I offered to do this 10 times in a row? Same deal, $20 for your 10, flipping this coin.
But then I'd be losing $10 each time, wouldn't I?
You might be. You'd be risking $10 each time, but you know this is 50-50, and you know that I'm giving you 10 chances. Is that a better deal? To do it repeatedly?
I don't think so.
What about 100 times?
I don't think
It doesn't
so.
get better?
No.
People don't understand. Another thing people don't understand is that volume, right? Any probability that you have, any favorable probability you have over an extended volume increases the likelihood that you'll actually see that probability in real time as well. Yeah.
Played enough and I had enough, of a stake of $10, then eventually, yes, I would make more money, yes.
Why does repeating the same bet change it?
I don't think there's a rational thought behind it. It's just a feeling that one gets when presented with the opportunity. I don't know.
I think there is a rational reason behind it.
Is it?
Yeah. Because the coin is going to be 50-50. But you don't know on one toss, you're only going to get one outcome. But in 100 tosses, you know that it's going to be somewhere between like 45 and 55 times it's going to go your way, 45 to 55 times it's going to go my way, right? The point is, every time it goes your way, you win twice as much as you lose when it goes my way. So the point is, doing it 100 times, you're basically guaranteed to win money.
Car insurance would still make sense for a poor person, right? The cost of a totaled car is probably more than a lot of people's savings. So here is what I recommend if you're like poor to like lower middle class. These things and these circumstances will change for every person, and this relies on you having some level of discipline. And if you don't have it, you might be better off just buying the insurance because it could curb a bad spending habit. So, like, every single warranty, every single insurance, every single time somebody offers to take money in exchange for covering an unfavorable or improbable event, you are losing some money, some amount of money on that. Like you're just, statistically speaking, you are. That's how they make money. What I would suggest is anytime you have the opportunity to buy an extended warranty or to buy any warranty or to get insurance on a product, take the money that you would spend on that and put it in a special savings account. You can call it a contingency fund. And then if you run into a catastrophic issue where a washer or a dryer fails, or you get in a car accident or something like that, then you can take the money out of that contingency fund and you can spend it on whatever thing, you know, gets fucked up. Like, over the long haul, you've got a large volume of warranties that you turn down that you put money into instead that would cost that warranty, assuming that you're basically making the insurance companies do the math for you. Over a long period of time, this should pay out in your favor. Now, it's possible that you could get fucked doing this, but I mean, it's also possible you pay so much in insurance you get fucked and miss a bill anyway, and it doesn't matter. So I mean, like that, but that would be like my suggestion. However, this only works if you have the discipline to leave that money alone. If you put money in a side contingency account like that, and then you spend it all on a fucking TV because you get a tax refund and you think you want to go buy a new $2,500 TV and you do it, then you're a fucking moron and you should have just bought the insurance because you don't have the discipline to hold on to your money anyway. Do you at least have third-party car insurance? If you run into a Lambo with no insurance, you're fucked. I mean, I have liability. You have to have liability. You forgot the disclaimer. My name is Destiny. In real life, I'm known as Stephen Bunnell. I play video games professionally. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a financial advisor. And if you take financial advice from me and you take it to the bank and you do exactly as I tell you, you might be a fucking moron. You're not taking anything that I say seriously. You're not taking it as legal advice. You're not taking it as financial advice. I don't know your particular situation. I don't know what tax situation you live under. You might not even be in the fucking United States. I don't know your specific situation. Also, everything I say might be totally fucking wrong because I'm not a certified accountant. I'm not a registered fucking anything. Okay? Don't take my advice, fucking word, gospel fucking shit, and then run and follow it and do it and get audited by the IRS and kill yourself. If you do, don't fucking blame me for it. If you do, remember to check that fucking recurring subscription button first. Okay. In a video game. I think we were talking about specific tax advice or something for this. I would generally say this, but with what I just said, I feel pretty strongly about that. But okay, sorry, what were we saying?
I mean, that's the strategy that a lot of corporations use nowadays. It's self-insurance. So essentially they have their own segregated pool of assets that they use to pay out, insurance premiums, insurance payouts and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of an analog to what you were saying. Mm-hmm.
Destiny, watch this 3-minute trailer for this game. It's like D&D and chat will love it.
Okay, well, think about it. Hold on.
No. It's not more chances of winning. It is you are guaranteed to win money. In fact, the expected value of 100 of these bets is a win of $500. And there's only a 1 in 2,300 chance of losing any money at all. So even if you weight losses twice as much as gains, 100 bets is indisputably favorable. So here's the thing. How do you accept 100 of these bets if you won't first accept 1 of those bets? This experiment is not about gambling. It's not to encourage you to go to the casino where the odds are definitely stacked against you. Instead, it is a metaphor for all the little risks and opportunities that come our way in our lives. I mean, if you view each one as an independent event, you will often say no to even very good bets because you're afraid of the loss. So if instead you can see each little bet as one of a series of bets, then you realize that if you take that bet every time, you may win and you may lose, but overall, on the aggregate, you will come out ahead.
Heads. Heads it is.
He's just won himself 12 bucks.
Woohoo!
Tails.
The 10 bucks is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Heads. Thank you very much.
The man has won 20 bucks. See, it pays to take the risk. Hey! Yes! This is unbelievable. My stroke of luck today has been terrible. Everyone's won off me so far. I'm funding myself.
Okay.
That's honestly my money.
Really?
Yeah. This video is in fact a bit of a risk for me because I'm giving out all this money and it's only going to make money on YouTube if like 500,000 people see it. So if you like this video, then you should share it with your friends so that this
That video won 4.5 million views.
actually turns out to be a positive bet for me.
Okay, I'll do that.
In some states, you can avoid liability insurance if you can prove that you have the cash to cover any liabilities. That's possible. I think that, is it called depositors insurance? I think if you prove that you have like, is it like $200,000 in a fund, I think for Nebraska. I've heard of that before. But liability insurance is so cheap. I think it's like $40 a month for me. And the downside is massive. If I got into an accident, for instance, and killed somebody, I'm pretty sure that I could be liable for hundreds, if not millions of dollars in damage. Or medical expenses. I think it's okay to pay for liability insurance there. I'm okay with that. So for the people saying that Andy is like really bad or whatever for everything that happened, I mean like he had the two pair. I don't know if you give the guy credit for flogging this straight. Like,